perspective. Joining me, my partner, my co-host, my sibling, Kimber Rodriguez. Myself, I am Richard Gregg. And again, let's look into being the skeptic psychic. Hello, and welcome once again to the special edition of the Skeptic Psychic, where we're celebrating one of the most profound, most important days of the year, namely my sister Kim's birthday. Happy birthday, Kimbra.
Thank you. As I posted on Facebook, for those who are friends with me, today is a national holiday. You can celebrate by sending me presents and also cake. Much appreciated.
And because we've got this special edition, we just decided to come back around to the round table with our two great, wonderful affiliate, I would call us affiliates, Rebecca
Friends.
and Pat from Ghostly.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, and happy birthday, Kim. That's
Happy
very
birthday.
exciting. Happy birthday day, birthday week,
Birthday month.
Birthday year.
Birthday year, yes.
Yeah.
quarter, you know, big deal.
Well, I'm lucky it's at the beginning of the month, so I can just celebrate the whole month, and it's
The
my
whole
favorite month
month.
of the year. So.
Yeah.
Best month, absolutely.
And spooky
Yeah, so
season,
how
too.
many years
I mean,
from
that's
27
perfect.
are you now?
I stopped at 22.
Okay.
I will not go any higher than 22. It makes sense. I mean, my grandma stopped at 29. My dad at 27. You stopped at 25. So being the youngest, I had to stop at 22.
No, I didn't. I'm going to be 52 this year, so.
Ah, couldn't remember you
Yeah,
had
it was
said
Jim
you
Scott
stopped
that
at
stopped at 25.
Either way.
Congrats on 52 years then, too. So.
Right.
Yes.
So, what's today's roundtable topic today?
Just one sec. Sorry, I have a little bit of a interruption.
Okay.
All right. Well, I will say just real quick before we get into our today's topic that Kim and I did, I mean, speaking of age, felt really old on our ghostly AMA the other night because we're both talking away about our favorite teen idol. And then the young people in the car are like, we don't know who that is.
Yes. I was like,
great.
you're
That's
kidding
great.
me, right?
Great. It's really great.
Annette Filicello.
Yes. Oh gosh,
Right,
no, not that old.
Exactly.
She is still my favorite teen idol. I don't have a crush on her, but I just like her spunkiness.
Pat, yours was what was Patty Duke? Is that it? What was
No,
that you watched?
that was not my
No.
crush. What are you talking about?
No, what was the show where they were like twins or whatever?
That
Yeah,
was
the
it,
Patty
but
Duke
that's
show.
not
Yeah,
the
show, right? Yeah.
But that's not my no. What are you talking about? No, I would
I don't
say
know.
I
He's talking
I
about that
grew
the
up
other
with like a Debbie Gibson kind of thing. So
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
although I met her, she was not as nice as what I thought she was going to be, but whatever.
Really,
Was it-
I always thought she would be like super sweet.
He was bothering her, I'm sure.
I met her at a
probably.
church, and I was like, "Is that Debbie Gibson?" And she just turned to me and said, "It's Deborah." And I said, "Oh, okay."
She went through a phase. She went through a phase. It's over now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's done. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like Alyssa Milano or something like that.
Right? That's what I would
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
I mean,
Brewster.
maybe no, not punk. What are you talking about, Rebecca? You're going all weird on me now.
She's cute.
Well, she does adult movies now, I think so.
No,
come on.
no.
No, that's not true.
I think
No.
so.
I
No.
think she.
think so.
The
No,
hardest
she-
thing she did was.
Sorry, Punky, if I'm wrong, though.
No. She just did like a reboot, I think, of her show.
Yeah,
I
she's
don't know.
doing the reboot of Punky Brewster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know she has had some issues and
All right. Well, so I didn't mean to take us totally off topic. I just thought that
I
I
was
do have to
an
say,
interesting
Betty Rubble
story.
was kind of hot. I go way back,
Yes.
so.
I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah,
I was
our
always a
oldest
big
brother
fan
actually-
of Jane Judson.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm,
and our oldest brother was in love with Vilma and Daphne.
Mm.
I mean, sure. Makes sense.
I'm more of a Chitara kind of guy from
yeah.
Thundercats.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess we
All
better get on
right.
topic.
I
Yeah,
think
right.
so.
Nick Savory's
This
Little
isn't the
Red.
topic. Oh my god, I'm so unprepared now.
It's like, yes, listeners, we do actually have a topic tonight.
I don't know. I really like this roundtable we're going on about.
Yes, but it has nothing to do with anything in the paranormal.
Yes, exactly. Well, and just for those watching, it was in fact Corey Haim that was
Yes.
our our teen heartthrob crush. So just in case
Yes.
you're like, they did all this and they didn't even tell us.
I got
Yes.
somebody that's interrupting the stream.
I see
Of
that.
course.
Whoa.
You've
I
got a
thought you were
ghost joke
suddenly an
today.
angel. You were an angel there.
Yeah.
Excuse me about that.
But I am interested. I know you were getting on in at least into the paranormal. You were saying that Corey Haim Corey Feldman came out with a show where they were trying to contact his ghost.
Well, he was on a show with a psychic that he goes to people's houses and like gives them readings, and lately he's been doing like a celebrity version, and I saw the episode where he went to Corey Feldman's house and talked to him, and one of the spirits that he felt he could see or talk to was like, he didn't know who Corey Haim was, he claimed, but the
Mm,
things that he said made it clear to Corey Feldman that it was Corey Haim. So I don't know.
interesting. Well, I mean, the people we were talking to the other night didn't know who Corey Haim was, so maybe it's
So
possible.
I mean, yeah, he's a young guy. He's a young
Yeah.
kid that does the psychic, so it's possible.
Yes. So tonight we getting on topic. Sorry, ADD brain. Tonight we wanted to get together to discuss one of my favorite hauntings. And this place kind of has a special meaning to me, which I know is going to sound weird. But we're actually discussing the Cecil Hotel. And
Dum, dum,
the reason, yes, the reason this has a special meaning to me is Cecil is actually a family name that we have. Our great grandfather, our uncle, my uncle's cousin, and his son all have the name Cecil. So I guess
Wow.
that kind of drew me
And a great
to this
uncle.
location. Yes. Yes. So I this kind of drew me to that location because of that. So yeah, so that's why I wanted to, for my special day, discuss the Cecil Hotel. And I know there's a lot of mystery and a lot of weird things that go on here. So, we just wanted to get everybody's opinion on it. And so you want to kick it off, Rick?
Kind of having problems with my computer, so.
Oh no, you're still
Oh,
having
good
problems.
times.
Oh joy.
I mean,
Well,
I keep freezing on you guys, and I can hear everything you're saying, but I can't see you.
Oh, okay. It
Oh,
looks to us, it
okay.
looks like you're good to go, but
Right.
Yeah.
So why don't you start off, Kim?
Okay. One sec. So, just a little bit of history. It did open December 20th of 1924, and it was considered a budget hotel. It had 14 floors and 700 guest rooms, and it was built by 3 people: William Banks Banner, Charles L. Dix, and Robert H. Shops. And not only was it a budget hotel, but it was also kind of a destination hotel for business travelers and tourists coming to the LA area. It was also designed by Loy Lester Smith in the Beaux Art style. This was an important style in France back up until the 19th century ended. It did draw upon the French neoclassicism and also incorporated Renaissance and Baroque. Sorry. Incorporated Renaissance and Baroque elements.
It's not
However,
fixed, it's Baroque.
there you go.
oh no.
They did, however, use modern materials for the day, such as iron and glass, and was heavily influenced by the American architecture from 1880 to 1920, which is also another time that I love, that whole Victorian time. I don't know what it is about the Victorian era. I mean, it was really one of the worst eras that we had, but
As far as
something
like
about it.
humanity goes, yeah.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
But something about the beauty of it,
Mhm.
the way they dressed, the architecture, it just totally draws me in.
Ooh, got my notes finally.
Oh, yay!
Woohoo.
Yes.
So, in the 40s, with the economy strengthening, it was a popular destination through the decade. And the following decades saw the hotel's popularity decline, as it was known at that time as the area of Skid Row. And in 2008, the new owners took over and refurbished a portion of the hotel. It was in 2011 rebranded as a Stay on Main with its own entrance, sorry, tongue doesn't work, while still operating as the Cecil in other sections. So, you want to pick up there, bro?
Yeah, in 2014, it was sold for $30 million to the New York hotelier Richard Bourne, who then leased the building to another New York firm, the Simon Barron Development, on a 99-year lease. Well, he's going to be making
Wow.
money for at least the next 100 years.
That's interesting considering the where it's at now, the state it's in
Right.
now.
Yeah.
In 2016, Matt Barron, the president of Simon Barron, stated he was committed to the preservation of the historically significant parts of the building, such as the grand lobby, but otherwise planned to completely redevelop the interior and fix the chaotic repair jobs done up until then. The hotel closed in 2017 for the renovation, but got suspended due to COVID. Everything got suspended due to COVID.
It
Mm-hmm.
did. Yeah. The world shut
Yep.
down for a little bit.
Yep.
Yep. Still trying to pick up after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. In February of that same year, the LA City Council voted to make the Cecil a Grand Historic Cultural Monument due to its significance due to architect. The hotel reopened in December 13th of 2021 as an affordable housing complex operated by the Skid Row Housing Trust to offer affordable housing for 600 low-income residents. Now, that's just the back history of it up to now.
Yes. Now we're going to get into the good stuff.
Well, I mean, can I add one thing to that?
Of
Go right
course.
ahead.
I think you guys did an awesome job with the history, but my favorite fact about the Cecil is that a little band, I don't know if you've ever heard of them, called U2, they performed on a building rooftop next to the Cecil Hotel, and it was for the band's official video for Where the Streets Have No Name, and they used the footage from this performance in the video, so you can see it in there.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one thing I love about U2 is some of their videos. I know that Everybody Hurts was actually filmed on I-10 during rush hour in San Antonio. So I always thought that
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Yeah. You know,
And
YouTube, the only band that goes to streets with no name and can't find exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah.
yes. Well, my good friend Shelly has piped in and says, "Evening all." Thank you, Shelly,
Hey,
for joining
Shelley.
us.
Hi, Shelley.
I know you were really interested in hearing about the information tonight, so I hope we keep you entertained and you enjoy it. Yes. So now we get into the good stuff. These are just some of the creepy deaths. In April of 1929, 33-year-old Dorothy Robertson of San Francisco was hospitalized after wandering around the hotel for 3 days. It appears she was depressed over the sudden death of her husband and tried to poison herself with barbiturates, but she did fail at that attempt. There was also an elderly man that was picked up near death after drinking poisoned liquor. It was rumored that Cecil resident George Ford, who was a successful dealer of morphine and opium, may have been involved with that incident.
Yes.
And then they had
It was back in 1929. You have to understand that there were
Hmm.
rum runners, there were illegal booze was going on. So
Mhm.
Mr. Ford was probably making a nice little killing.
Yes.
Literally.
Right?
Hmm.
Yes. Who knows? Maybe it was like some homemade moonshine or something like that that was made
That's
Mm,
incorrectly,
again,
and that's what caused the poisoning of it. I
that
mean,
yeah.
they
could
didn't know what
be.
they were doing. However, the first suicide happened January 22nd in 1927, and that was of Percy Orman Cook. At age 52, he shot himself in the head in his room after failing to reconcile with his wife and child. He was rushed to the hospital. However, he died that same evening. Um, and then we have another one in 1931. W.K. Norton died at the age of 83 in his room after taking poisoned capsules. Interesting. They have something to do with poison a lot, I see.
Yeah, it seems like
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's
poison.
so far we're looking at suicides.
Yeah,
Yeah,
suicide is a big thing for this hotel.
for sure.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of suicides there.
That
And if you
comes
think about
again,
it, I
perhaps,
mean,
Shelley suggests.
yeah. And again, this could be, it was Skid Row, a lot of people down on their luck. And,
Mhm.
I mean,
Well, you
sometimes,
had people that were staying there as a hotel, but you had also people that like it was like a weekly like I live here.
mhm,
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. It was
right.
like that had almost like a permanent place there too.
Yeah,
Mhm,
there's literally 10,000 people without homes that are right around that area.
mhm. It This is interesting. He actually checked into the room a week prior using the name James Willis,
Hmm.
and where he was from was Chicago. So there's a little
Oh,
link for you guys
a
there.
Chicago
We love that
connection.
in Chicago. That's
Yeah,
always
we
what
Yes.
we
do.
do.
So,
Yeah, I think there's been like over 16 unexplained or like violent deaths there. I
mhm.
mean, it's a lot.
I don't know if they're unexplained though. I think that they're perfectly explained. As far as most of them are suicides, people shot themselves, people took poison
We don't
capsules.
know what
Yeah.
kind of poison or what happened.
Right. I do agree that the deaths were explained except for one, which I kind of have my own theories on, and I'm sure we'll get to that
Mhm.
recently. Um, but yeah, there was also in 1938, Grace E. Margot, at the age of 25, fell from a ninth story window. Her fall was broken by telephone wires that wrapped around her body, and she did later on die at the hospital. Now, on this one, it was never determined if she fell accidentally or if it was a suicide, or if she was pushed.
Unexplained.
Yes, thank you. I mean, she could have been pushed
Explained.
out. She could have committed suicide, or she could have
I
been
mean, we
There's,
know
falling down
what
the
she
stairs.
died from, but that doesn't, but not
I was going to
really.
say
We
there's
don't know what
three
caused
reasonable
the thing to
explanations
happen.
for it.
Just because
Right.
it's
Well, she
unexplained
was
doesn't mean
staying
the
with
explanation is unreasonable.
a
Exactly.
sailor by the name of M.W. Madison from the USS Virginia. He stated that she was sleeping at the time, and he had no idea why she would have jumped.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Right.
Always
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
a
trust the
little
sailors.
suspicious.
I really, yeah, I totally believe that. Whenever there's a guy involved, I have to kind of second guess it. No
Always.
offense to any of the guys.
Whenever there's a
Okay.
significant other that's there, I would say, not just
I
guys, but
agree. Yeah,
significant
I
other.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Whenever there's a second person there,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, how convenient that he didn't hear anything or see anything.
I
Yeah.
swear
So,
she was taking a nap. I just went out to
uh,
go get a pack of cigarettes.
yes. Um, in 1939, Marine fireman Roy Thompson, at the age of 35, committed suicide by jumping from the building. And he was found in the skylight of the building next door. There is
Mm.
no reason known for his suicide, but he had been residing there for prior weeks prior to his death. So yeah, um, a lot of
Goes on.
yes,
Yeah.
the list goes on here. um, trying to go through. We have like so many deaths here, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, let's go
Oh,
through
yeah.
this stuff.
1940
Too many.
cafe manager who was a longtime resident of the Cecil. He was killed by a nearby bar called the Waldorf Cellar
Mm.
Mm.
after getting to a gunfight with the bartender, who happened to be his childhood best friend.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Now this one I know is one of the first hauntings. There was in 1963. It had its first murder on its hand when the body of Pigeon Goldie Osgood was found. She was a retired 65-year-old telephone operator, and she was found in her room. She had been assaulted, stabbed, and beaten, and then finally strangled. I know she is one that they say haunts the location.
What a name, too.
Yeah.
Yes,
Pigeon Goldie.
yes.
Great
Yeah.
What's
name.
it? It says she earned her nickname as she often fed the birds in Pershing
Aw.
Oh.
Square.
Aw.
Oh, now I feel
That's
bad
cute.
for saying that she had a good
Right.
name. I don't know why.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good name. That's not a
It
bad
is a
thing.
good name. Yeah,
It is a
yeah.
good name,
Yeah.
yes. Um, and next to her body was a Dodgers cap that she always wore and a sack of her bird seed.
Aw.
Oh.
Oh.
Mm.
Yes, a
Going,
few out.
going into another great case of January 47, Elizabeth Short, aka the Black Dahlia, was reportedly
Mhm.
seen at the Cecil bar shortly before she was brutally murdered. It's been said she was staying at the guest, and she's actually been her ghost has been seen at the bar a few times.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually one
I've
of
heard
my
that one.
favorite. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually one of my favorite unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, that's always a story.
Absolutely.
That's a good, interesting one. Yeah.
Yes. Um, in the 70s and 80s, Richard Ramirez did stay there
Oh
during
yeah.
his killing spree.
Mhm.
I don't think
The Night
he
Stalker.
yes. Don't think
Mhm.
he killed anybody there, but he did dump his bloody clothes in the dumpster and walk to his room naked. I always wondered about that, like what kind of energy
Mhm.
comes with this type of person, like, because I mean, he was evil, in my opinion. I do believe there are evil people, and he was definitely one of them. So it kind of makes you think, like, what kind of energy would be left over from his just being there?
Sure.
I don't know. So I don't know. What do you all think?
I mean, as far as like to me, I don't believe in good or evil. I believe that everything is in the middle, and I believe that this is like mental illness that causes these kind of things to happen. Even in
I
the
believe
most like a Charles Manson, I feared him, but I still believe it was some kind of mental illness.
Mm,
I kind of believe that yes, there is such a thing as good and evil, but I also believe in mental illness type situation. I mean,
mhm,
you could Charles Manson is just a complete utter idiot who passed a test on how to make graduated from how to make friends and
Influence people.
influence
yeah,
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
He was definitely a cult leader of sorts for sure.
yeah.
I
those
think
eyes though.
yeah,
Mhm,
they're crazy. Um well, yeah, so for me I think you could look at it in a couple ways. Is it that Ramirez brings a dark energy, or was he drawn to a place that had dark energy in it already?
mhm.
So what
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think he brought a dark energy. I know you say like it is mental illness, which yes, I agree with that. But then if you think about it, people who are psychopaths, they have no emotion. They don't care about people. They don't care about.
Hmm.
So to me, that takes it a little more into the being just beyond a mental illness. I mean, anybody who can do something like that with no concern of another person.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, there's a difference between like a sociopath that seeks help for this kind
Mhm.
of thing, and many do. They see therapists, they go through all
Mhm.
that, and then the other ones that just don't care, don't
And
Right.
that's
don't care
why they're
enough to
Right.
do
still
anything.
guilty.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
They're
Right.
Like,
still
like
guilty of
not
it.
not
Yeah,
all mental illness means that you don't know the difference between right and wrong.
Mhm.
Sometimes it does if you're psychotic or see there's different situations, but like a lot of the time, yes, you might be suffering from a mental illness, but you
Mhm.
still could choose to go to therapy, like you said, Pat. You could,
yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely,
Right.
yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
absolutely.
Shelley pipes in that she
Mhm.
believes that all the residual energy, that she believes that they are drawing the energies there, which that makes a
Hmm.
lot of
Again, a
sense.
lot of death, a lot of violent death, a lot of
Mhm.
sadness. Yep.
Yes. Following that same thought, in the early 90s, the Austrian serial killer, Jack
Hmm.
Unterweger, the poet of death, also stayed there. I'm wondering if he stayed there because he knew Ramirez was there and he wanted to kind of follow in his footsteps.
Mm.
It does say that he did go back to killing, but the Austrian police were unable at the time to link him to those crimes.
Well,
Um,
I mean, he did strangle 3 sex workers while there, though.
Oh
mm,
yeah, he
Yeah.
killed.
Yeah,
No, he got caught in the States for sure. Like
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
had been in Germany, got caught in Germany, but then they let him out, and then he started killing again, and then he came here and he killed more.
All in
He
all,
was
he
a
killed
bad
9
man.
women
Oh,
in
yeah.
one
Yeah.
Bad
year.
man. Yeah, he was. Ooh, yeah,
Mhm.
very bad.
Yes. But what I'm wondering is, did he kill the women, the 3 sex workers that he killed, did he kill them at the hotel, or was it off somewhere else and he just stayed there at the hotel?
Yeah, I think he actually killed some while there, while he was living there. So I think it was
Mhm.
in the hotel itself, if I remember
Good
Mm,
possibly,
correctly.
maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember for sure, but I feel like that's definitely possible.
that makes sense. And then in 95, there was an escaped murder suspect, Eric Reed, who was found hiding out in the hotel. Um, so it doesn't say
Yeah.
It's a
like
great
any other.
it's a great
Yeah.
place for them to hide, though. There's lots of rooms, and it's been
Hmm.
open for a very long time. So, I mean, these deaths and stuff like that. I mean, I wonder
Mhm.
if we looked at a spreadsheet and looked at how many deaths occur at a typical hotel versus this
Mhm.
one over that span. I wonder if it would be similar.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, this is the one that I'm most interested in. On February 13th, the body of 21-year-old Alyssa Lamb was discovered in one of the rooftops water supply tanks. She had been missing for about 3 weeks, and it does say like they did catch her on security cameras acting really weird. So they didn't know if she was having some kind of mental illness or if she was being followed. Now, I personally believe that she was being followed and she was murdered because of the fact that it was impossible. The tanks were very high up that she had to climb. The lids were very heavy. It took more than one person to open them when they discovered her body. So I can't see how a young girl who was very tiny could climb up there and open it herself. To me, that
Well,
just
Well,
doesn't make sense.
she was actually what is the word? Uh,
well, she was diagnosed with schizophrenia,
yes,
Mhm.
that's what I
and
was trying to find the word for.
yeah, she
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
diagnosed with schizophrenia, and she often would stop taking her medications. And her
Mhm.
family reported that she acted very odd during these times, and she had tried to commit suicide a few other times.
Right,
Now,
and
you mentioned about the lid on top of it. What was interesting is that they believe that the lid was open when she went up there, and when she was climbing in, it closed behind her, and that's what ultimately did her in.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it's a tragedy, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I've always felt like there was more to it, that there, because they showed like her looking out the elevator and like pushing the buttons to different floors. So I definitely think that somebody was following her personally. That's just my opinion of it.
Or
Sadly, we'll
something,
never
maybe.
know. Yeah, could be.
Well,
Well, the
being
videos, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, being bipolar, you actually
Yeah.
kind of sometimes see visions. That
Mhm.
you don't know whether it's fact or fiction. It's
Mhm.
real or false. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is one where you know me, I love the paranormal, and I definitely believe the Cecil is haunted, and there are
Mhm.
spirits there, and we can talk about those sightings. But for
Yes.
her story, it just when I really like read through the stuff and like watched things with her, like the fact that she did have, a psychotic episode that she
Mhm.
would go off for medications. Then when you watch those videos again, they just make more sense. That
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
that it was her going through something. Now that doesn't mean that there weren't spirits there that were like feeding her energy or things like that. Because again, I do think it's a haunted place, but I do think there's an explanation for what happened to her that isn't paranormal. But I again, as
Mhm.
always, when they hide things and they don't tell the full story, then it starts to make people think that something else is happening. You
Yeah.
know.
This is
Well,
true.
and she also had another trip in mind as well after the Cecil that she obviously was not able to go to. So, that is a little suspicious to me that if you're planning to commit suicide there,
True.
why would you plan another trip? But I don't think she planned suicide.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't think that she was actually trying to commit suicide at that moment. I think it was an accidental death.
Interesting. So, what do
Yeah.
you think of the theory that she was? This is going to go over onto the deep end of the
Here we
controversies,
go. Let's do it. Do it.
the elevator game that supposedly she was playing the elevator game and opened up
What is the
the gate.
elevator game?
You haven't heard of the elevator
I
game?
don't know if I have. It sounds terrifying.
The elevator game is a game that started in, I think it's Korea or Vietnam,
Mm.
but supposedly you go in the elevator and you push the buttons to go up to a certain floor and then you wait, and then when the doors open, you push more buttons to go to another floor, and then
Mm.
supposedly you get to another floor and a woman is supposed to walk in, and you don't say anything to the woman, just kind of like ignore her being there, and then you keep going till you get to the top floor. Then the belief is that once you get to the top floor, you open up an alternate dimension to the spirit world.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't heard of that one. That
sounds
was
like a Bloody
No.
Mary thing. I
It
don't
Yeah,
know.
does.
it does, yeah,
Yeah.
and,
it's a really good song by
Wow.
Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It is, yeah.
so, yeah, so
Wow.
there is a theory going on out there from the people who are into the paranormal because she was seen pushing the buttons and that's what she
Mhm.
was doing, was playing that game, and in fact, when, they did it on Ghost Adventurers, they were like, "We're gonna try out the elevator game," and so he was there, like, pressing on the buttons and trying
Well,
to
I love
see if
Zach.
anything
I
happened.
mean,
Of
I love
course!
Zach. Me
Who
and him are
doesn't?
buds, and I'm just I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say I don't know if that adds to the credibility of it. So, but yeah.
Zach and I are like this on
Mhm.
the thumb over here.
Right? Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, you got a big
Um,
comment there.
yeah, she
Yeah.
says, "An even deeper mystery to Elisa Lamb's death. After she was found, a huge outbreak of unique drug-resistant TB occurred in the same area of her disappearance. How do you diagnose TB? With a Lamb-Elsa test."
Yeah, I
Ah.
have heard that before. Yeah. Oh, so no, creepy, creepy. So many like weird coincidences, weird things for sure surrounding it. Like I get why people, you know, it's
Yes.
one of the first cases. I think there's a, there's a Netflix thing out there on it. And what I found was interesting is they were talking about like it was one of the first like internet mysteries. Where people
Mhm,
like crowdsourcing, like to
mhm,
solve the case. But unfortunately, with that too, like people became suspects that like weren't really suspects and
mhm.
had the internet descend on you. Like that's never great. So, but it's interesting. Like when you get a lot of minds together to try to solve something.
Right. Right. Interesting you bring that up. One of the people that they actually focused on was magician Pablo Vergara, and this was due to his heavy death music lyrics and imagery. However, the accusations and hatred grew so much towards him that he almost committed suicide himself and
Yeah.
pretty much stopped
Yeah.
making music altogether. So,
And he
That's what I was
wasn't at
thinking
all
of.
responsible
Yeah.
for
Nope.
anything with it too.
No.
So
mhm.
that's
It's
a
just
shame. I
one of
mean,
those.
that's where I mean conspiracy theories they're really interesting and they're fun to think about, but that doesn't mean you need to act upon them. You
Right.
should let the police or the investigators handle those kind of things
Mhm.
Yeah, that's that
instead of
satanic
accusing
panic
some heavy metal death
stuff.
metal guy to
Mhm.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of death metal just because I usually can't understand the words that they're yelling, but I still wouldn't go out and say, "Oh, well, you're a death metal singer, so you must have been involved with this heinous
Yeah.
incident." I mean,
Mhm.
I call it dog metal because it sounds like they're barking like dogs during it, like
right? Oh my gosh. I never thought of it that way, but now that you say
yeah.
it, you're correct.
To me, death metal started with Randy Scout Git.
Huh.
Don't know.
Why don't you cut your the way Mickey Dolenz would scream it into the mic? Why don't you cut your hair? And then it just progressed from
Mhm.
there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
It can be a
that's the
relief.
least of the problems is cutting your hair, I would say.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. More recent another thing about the with her death though is it did kind of like spur an upswing of bookings for people who were intrigued with the hotel.
Mhm. Yes.
So they did have a lot of people visiting at that time.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
wanted to stay in the room. They wanted to, you know, they were going up to the elevator. There, yeah, definitely.
It's
mhm,
just but it's not the safest place to stay. And the
mhm,
rooms are some of them have been rehabbed, but not all of them. And
right.
yeah, it's kind of sketchy there.
Yes. On June 13th of 2015, it was speculated that a man committed suicide by jumping from the hotel, though the coroner never determined an actual cause of death, nor was his identity ever discovered. So that's kind of interesting how
Yeah.
they found him outside, but it's like, okay, did he fall from the window? Did he OD?
Right. Now, interesting trivia. If anyone's ever watched the American Horror Story, they had a season in October 7th, 2015 called Hotel, which was inspired by the Cecil and
Mm.
Lamb's death.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
wow.
Interesting.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, on a more lighthearted thing, the hotel can be seen in the background of, um, your younger listeners will appreciate this Blink 182's video, The Rock Show in 2001.
Well, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Now we get into the good stuff, the
Oh, I
creepy
thought we were
stuff.
already there.
We're
No, no, no,
always
no, no.
there.
Again,
The
we can
skeptic
debate whether
psychic.
or not she, whatever, but that does not mean it's not haunted.
Yes.
All right.
While it was closed for renovations in 2017, a man named Pete Monzingo moved in across the street. After witnessing strange occurrences, he began documenting them on his YouTube channel. He has shown footage of balcony doors opening and shutting on their own, curtains moving with no one in the building, lights turning on and off, and even at one time when the building had no electricity, they were coming on. Now, how does he know that there was nobody in there? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, it's during a time when they were doing renovation.
Mhm.
And I mean, anybody that knows anything about renovations, you'll know that there can be a lot of weird lights and a lot of people walking around. And if you just happen to catch it from the wrong side and you're looking at it through the window, it can look like something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
he
And
he
plus
lived
the fact
there.
that Go ahead.
Yeah, but he's not going to be watching the window 24/7 to see who's going in and who's coming out. He's just
That's true.
assuming it's
No,
at
but he
night.
would not necessarily though. Like he would go and like talk to the people over there and like ask like, are there people doing work up there? Like what's, going on if there were people there. Um and I mean, it was kind of easy to see like like there wasn't necessarily anybody in the room and then the lights are going on and off. Doesn't mean there, there's could be explanations, but it is pretty creepy footage.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Yep.
when you're talking about renovation of a major, well, not a major hotel, but a bigger hotel like this, I mean, you're talking several different teams, and they don't exactly communicate well with each other.
Mhm.
You also have to look at the fact of LA's homeless problem that
Mhm.
homeless people can be virtually invisible, when they find themselves a place they can crash, so
So
the
squatters.
little lights on
Mhm.
could be just
Mhm.
flashlights going, finding themselves a room for the night, or
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're
They
creepy
have also
videos.
seen shadow.
yes.
Yes. They've also seen shadows and apparitions in the hotel windows. He saw a man on the balcony smoking a cigar at 2 a.m. in the morning. As it appeared, the man was looking right at him. He moved to another woman, and the man followed him. He was later told no one was in the hotel at the time. So again, that goes back to your idea of like squatters because, he's going to go out there and smoke a cigarette and he sees somebody staring at him out the window. Of course, he's going to be wanting to see what's going on over there.
Yeah, and I mean, last time that I checked, is squatters don't actually check in when they're going into a place.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't
That's
actually
true.
like let it be known. They don't like post on Facebook or something. Hey, I'm going to be staying here.
Wow. Again, I will just say, again, if you're looking across the way, again, it's not like you can't just see the room. Like it's not that far away. It's not like, oh, like I can't quite tell if someone's in there or not. So, I mean, again, especially with things like curtains moving or, like it's like you would see that there's somebody there moving it, I would imagine.
Speaking of
Now,
ghost adventures, there was a Pete actually saw a woman standing out of the window like she was going to jump. He called to her if he's asked if she was all right,
Mm.
and she stayed in the window, but distractedly told him she was fine. He called the police anyway. Turns out that she was an actress filming a recreation
Yeah,
for the show.
that's right. That's right. I do
oh,
remember
that's
that.
too funny.
Yep.
Now,
Mm.
I do know that they say that the room where the lady jumped out the window or was pushed out the window, supposedly she does haunt the room, and people have seen a lady standing at the window and going out.
Mm.
So they rush to the window, and when they look down, they don't see her body anywhere. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Well, that's going back to that residual ghost argument that we had the other day. Do you believe that a residual ghost, like a replaying of an event that
Mhm.
happens every day at the same time or something like that, do you believe that that's actually a ghost? Or do you believe that maybe the walls have some way of recording this or something? I don't know. But
I'd still call it a ghost.
I don't. I don't.
Different kind of ghost, but it's a ghost.
But
yes,
by the way,
I
I don't believe that that happens either, though. I'm just saying.
yeah.
Well, early radio were made with crystal, so they were able to
Yeah.
record and produce, and a lot of the limestone and sandstone, that sort of thing,
Mm.
do have crystals inside of them. That's uh, just a theory.
Mhm.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I definitely believe that like I believe energy is all around us. Everything is made up of energy. So to me, there's no reason why as you call it, a digital recording couldn't be, held in
Hmm.
to that energy of that building of whatever
Right.
happened. So if you look at it that way, then
Yeah, I still don't believe that that happens even, but I'm just saying if we're looking for possible explanations, I would definitely want to explore that more then.
Mm.
yes. Let's see. Sorry for the delay.
No problem.
Also, Pete did visit room 1419 where Ramirez stayed, claiming I definitely felt like I was being watched, which was freaky. As soon as he left the room, he heard the wind howl. It was very eerie.
Mm.
That could easily be explained.
That window
Old
open or
buildings have
something?
wind blowing through them.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Hello, I'm here listening. Just got nothing to say. It's really creepy case though.
It is.
I would agree with that. It's creepy.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you for joining us, Raymond. Also, Shelley says the Amy Price interview was weird. She was the manager there. She was also all over YouTube, and the interview was looked at by body language experts. I
It
have not
was.
Yeah.
seen that one. I'm gonna have to check that out.
That's in the
Interesting.
Netflix series, I believe. They
It
have
is.
that.
Yeah,
one.
they
Yeah.
talk about that. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
Creepy.
will definitely check that out.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Mhm.
One sec. My screen is doing wonky things. I guess the energies that are being pulled up talking about this are retaliating.
Well, Rebecca, you found that one YouTuber, right?
Well, yeah,
That
that's Pete
oh, that's
guy
Pete.
that she's been
Okay.
talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's been other investigations. Did you guys read about Chris Starr? She did a YouTube. That was a YouTube video that she did an investigation for like 30 minutes. They did a spirit box and they recorded about it saying Elisa Lamb. That's what they say. So
Interesting.
I don't know. That's one of
Yeah.
those things like I hate though because whenever they play a spirit box thing, they give you what they think it says.
Mhm.
And so your brain hears it like
Right.
immediately. You
No,
know
I
what I mean?
totally
Like I
agree with
like it
that.
better when they play it first and
Mhm.
let you hear what you want to hear and then be like, and this is what we think it's saying, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
there's a Stone Temple Pilots song that at one time somebody pointed out that it sounded like he was saying feeling like a ham and mustard shake. And now whenever I hear that song, that's all I hear now is feeling like a ham and mustard shake.
Well,
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne for years did not like Jimi Hendrix because he
Oh
said in
yeah.
Purple Haze, it said, "Excuse me while I kiss this guy."
Yeah. In other Ozzy news, he's leaving the country because he says it's too weird here. So
I heard that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
he can take his homophobic stuff and go.
Yeah. I originally heard that they were leaving because the taxes were so high in California.
That
So
makes
they
much
decided to
more
go
sense.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's the Prince of Darkness and he can't handle a little weirdness. I don't know.
I know. I remember one of my friends was like, when Jack Osbourne started doing all these paranormal shows, she's like,
Mhm.
I would have never thought of Jack Osbourne doing paranormal. And I'm like, hello, his dad's the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, exactly.
She's
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
The
Sharon,
funniest
what
one
we
was
do
the
to
Robert the
attention?
Doll episode where
Yeah.
he took Ozzy to see Robert the Doll. That was hysterical to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love Ozzy. He's one of
Yeah.
the,
Sharon.
yes. I love that he can laugh at himself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the show they did last year, the Osbournes We Want to Believe, where Jack was trying to convince them that paranormal really exists.
Mm.
And he was asking Ozzy, he's like, "So, Dad, have you ever experienced this?" He's like, "Yeah, one time when I was really high." Really, it was like, "Oh my
Wait,
god."
Ozzy does drugs? No, come
Ozzy
on.
did
He did. He did.
Yeah.
Supposedly he's clean now.
Sharon's got him pretty clean now.
Yeah. But it was hilarious.
And the little
Well,
That's
doggies
he's
that they have.
high on other drugs to take care of all those other drugs that he messed up in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of like when you're saying about like the YouTube, I remember Patty Negri. She's a psychic who we actually had on our show about a year ago.
Mm.
And she I was watching her on Facebook and she was doing a Facebook live where she was with her friend and she wanted to take her friend to see the Stanley because her friend had never been there. So she's like, I'm going to call them and tell them that I left something there when we did the investigation. So she calls them and they're like, we'll get back with you in a few minutes or whatever. So supposedly when she's on video, her phone rings, she answers it, and supposedly they're telling her to come on in, and you see the doors actually open up. So at that time she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video now because we're going to go in and, check out the place. Well, about 10, 15 minutes later, she came back on live and said that as they were walking around, supposedly somebody came up to her and said, "What are you doing here? This is private property. Nobody's allowed on the grounds." And she's like, "Well, they called me and told me that I could come in because I forgot something." And they're like, "Nobody called you. I'm the
Oh,
only one
wow.
here and I didn't call you." Now, if that was
Creepy.
just yeah. So, I don't know if she came back and said that just for effect or if it really happened, but yeah,
Wow.
that's
Uh, I
interesting.
hate to interrupt. Raymond, it was called The Osbournes. We Want to Believe.
Yes, not that we're affiliated, but if you check out
Mhm.
Discovery Plus, they have it on there and you can check it out. It's really good.
Anything
It
with
was
the Osbournes is usually pretty fun.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Haunted
Haunted.
Highway.
Haven't
Mm.
seen that one yet. That's the first one he did, I think, that Jack Osbourne
Okay.
first did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
That was the
suppose
one with the Robert the Doll one, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Haunted
Yeah.
yeah,
Highway. Yeah.
They were traveling. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Now the rooms that are supposedly haunted is Ramirez room. They've I know they've gotten a lot of EVPs there and a lot of weird things happening, like you said about feeling like you're being watched. People have been I don't know, so many different stories, things moved around. Also, Elisa Lamb's room, supposedly she had haunts it. As I mentioned before, the eighth floor where Julia Francis Moore jumped to her death.
Mhm.
Also, the room where the lady was assaulted. There's been things that have happened there. And
Room 506, where Alicia Lamb was supposedly staying before she disappeared.
mhm, yes. So, yeah, um, that's pretty much all the information that I have other than,
All right.
like I said, the things that have been reported by different people seeing things when nobody's supposed to be there.
There's one creep. The creepiest thing for me
Mhm,
is something that like actually happened, and then it also supposedly continues to happen in like a spooky way. So
mhm,
she was found in the water
mhm,
tank. And one of the things that was happening was people's water was like
mhm,
weird. Like when that happened, like they interviewed people that like were staying there and they're like, yeah, the water was like wasn't like red, it wasn't like blood, but it was
mhm.
like kind of like
It
a
was
weird,
brown.
it was
It was
Yeah,
brown.
brown
Yeah.
yeah,
and it wasn't coming out right and everything. And it's just because obviously there was a body decomposing in the water tank.
And tasted
right,
Well,
funny, too.
it
yeah,
tasted funny. Like I like
Yeah.
honestly, like literally I would have to like have something happen to my brain where I just like wouldn't ever think about that like ever.
mhm.
Like I just like if I found out that's what I was drinking.
I'm
Like I
with you
just
on
like
that. I would
Exactly,
not.
right?
I would not either.
I would just need to you know yeah. Anyways, but supposedly since then people will experience that brown water, like something weird happening, and then they'll call in maintenance to fix it, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this happens," but like it's not anything. Like it's not like there's not like it's a paranormal thing
So you're
that's like
saying you
happening.
residual water.
Residual water.
Well, I
Mhm.
mean, to me, I would think that that would still be because I don't know, maybe something's still caught up in the pipes, but then
Well,
again,
I
it's
think
been
by now they've
yeah,
no, hopefully, but I don't know, and I don't want to drink the water there.
Well,
That's
I
all I'm
will
saying.
say that it's
right?
probably really old pipes, and there's probably
Mhm.
rust in there too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah,
Again, though, don't drink the water.
yeah.
I
So
think
it's like
that's
going
the
to a
lesson to
yeah, so
learn.
it's like going to a foreign country, just avoid the
Yep.
water altogether.
Just definitely avoid it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's my one last creepy thing that I remember from researching that. Ooh. Yeah.
Well, we do kind of come to the time where we have to debate whether this is fact or BS? So
So,
we'll go
mm,
to Rebecca. Fact or BS?
ooh. Well, again, I don't necessarily believe that Elisa Lam's death was paranormal. I do think that it's haunted. I do think that I mean, there's just too many weird, deaths and just violent things that have happened there and violent people that have stayed there that are drawn to it. People that investigate definitely hear things, see things. It's just one of those. There's just a lot of reports. So for me, I do land on haunted, even despite not being a total like a conspiracy theory person with Elisa.
Yes. I
Jen?
I think some of it's true. Again, with Lisa or Elisa, I'm sorry. My gut tells me foul play was involved. I could be wrong, but that's just something my gut's been telling me through the years.
Hmm.
And I mean, there's just so many
Yeah.
things that even if she was having a psychotic episode, so many things to me don't add up. So I definitely think foul play was involved. As for the hauntings, I'm with you that I definitely believe it is haunted. I don't believe that everything that has been seen is ghosts because, like you said, it could be uh, squatters, it could be workers, but things that people have experienced while they're actually visiting the hotel. Yeah, I definitely believe stuff is going on at that point. Personally, that's just my thought. Shelley says she'd be interested to learn about the ley lines of the location.
I mean,
That's
it
a
is
good
in
thought.
Good
Yeah,
LA,
point.
so
Yeah.
it
yeah,
is in LA. They have a lot of earthquakes, so it's
mm,
Right.
possible.
that's interesting. I hadn't thought about
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting.
Pat. Fact or BS?
Well, of course, BS. Of course it is. So I mean, the thing is that this hotel has been open for 100 years almost, and given its current location and through the hard times that it's seen in that 100 years, like the Great Depression and various other things, yeah, there's going to be deaths associated with it. It just that's what happens in hotels. A lot of times, people go into a hotel to commit suicide, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And the Cecil it's cheap and they can get in there really easily. It's just y- given the area, given everything involved, the deaths are not unexplainable to me. They all are explainable. Um, and all of the, I saw this in the windows. It's a lot of I don't remember how many floors it is, but it's a pretty big hotel.
Mhm.
And it's very old looking because it's made to look that way. So I think that adds to people's want and desire for the spookiness. I just I I call BS on the whole thing.
Well, it's down to me. It's 2-1, and I'm going to
Hmm.
call it BS because, like you
Yes.
said, Pat, basically it is an old hotel. You've got old pipes, old rigging to get the wind running through there, that sort of thing, and also the stories kind of build up. I saw so and so jump out the window. Oh, it's the mentality type situation where you want to be scared, so you jump at every little shadow you see, and hear
Absolutely.
these nasty ghost stories of Rich Ramirez supposedly lived in this apartment right here back in the day, and we all know what Richard Ramirez was. So I think
Mhm.
it's a build-up of a sham, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, tragedy has happened there, though. I will say that, but I don't think it adds up to anything, though.
Well, there you go. Again,
Interesting.
it's
Yes.
hard to come to an answer.
Yeah, but I
Agreed.
Cool.
enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely.
Always fun.
And
Victims drawn there and killers drawn there, not meeting but following their darkness.
Ooh,
mm,
Interesting. That's a thought to ponder.
creepy.
But is it dark because of paranormal activity or is it dark because of the way that the building was made And when it was first
So it
made, it had a
draws
bunch of
psychic
marble.
energy. Yes,
Yes, agreed.
Mhm.
Or is
That's
it
not what
like
I said. Thank
the
you, though, Rebecca. But it was made with marble and stained glass, actually, when it was first made.
right? Or is it
So
like the Japanese suicide forest where people just kind of feel like I gotta go commit suicide there?
Yeah.
Yes.
oh, Shelley wouldn't stay the night there, but I would. If anybody
I
wants to, um, send us some money, then I would go stay there then.
Yeah,
just don't
send
drink the
us
water.
Yes. I don't know
send
if
us
we
the plane
mentioned.
ticket too, and we'll do a
Yeah.
round trip ticket there, and we'll actually stay in what was it
That's true. We'll
12,
spend. We'll
15?
not sleep. We'll bring our own water,
14,
and we'll
let's
see
stay
what
in
happens.
1402, everybody. That's the
Yeah.
room Richard Ramirez was in.
Oh
I do agree with
no.
Rebecca, though. I am bringing my own water when I go there. I'm
Definitely.
just gonna say.
Mm-mm. Nope. Nope.
Yes.
There's nothing. Nothing that would make that okay. Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You take the stairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we mentioned this on air or if it was when we were chatting before. But if we didn't, for those of you who are curious about what the plans are for it now, it has been they're working on opening it up for low income housing. But the catch is it's going to be, from what I hear, I could be wrong, but this is what I heard on TikTok that it was going to be $1 million per room or
Totally
Yeah.
affordable.
apartment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Totally.
I
Yeah.
was just I did look up an article and it was saying like it was like a thousand something and then they were subsidizing actually quite a bit of it. But
Oh,
it is weird. They're actually having trouble. This is a weird part though, regardless, because who knows? Like maybe it was $1 million to renovate each room and then they didn't do it or whatever. But it sounded like there's even with that they're having trouble renting the
mhm.
rooms,
Right.
like getting people to apply and like actually be there, which is weird. Like if if it is affordable, like why not stay there? So
And I
I don't
wonder if
know.
it's just a section
Interesting.
of the hotel too,
I think
because
so.
they've always
Yeah.
done sections of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Right.
big place. Yeah.
Yeah.
According to my notes here, the Hotel did reopen on December 14th, 2021, and Pete
Mm.
showed up for the ribbon cutting,
Of
assuming it
course
was
he
open to the public,
did.
Mhm.
but was
Course.
promptly escorted out. The Skid Row Housing Trust
Oh.
insists that the ceremony was invite only and that he was trespassing.
Ooh, boo.
Really?
Yes.
He
Yeah.
brought them more
Uh,
attention than
But they won't cut this guy a
yeah.
break though. Jeez.
No.
yeah.
Wow.
He says that he believed it was because they recognized him from his videos. And he says they just came up to me and kicked me out. I got
Aw.
threatened and I don't really understand why exactly that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they're hiding
Um,
something,
Yeah, right?
Mm.
There you
right?
go.
Or they just don't want YouTube attention anymore. So
Right.
Maybe.
yeah.
There you go. So that brings us to the shameless plugs. Where can our listeners find you if they want to check out Ghostly Podcast?
Oh, well, I mean, the best place to find us is on GhostlyPodcast.com. That will take you everywhere that we're at, but we're on the social medias as Ghostly. Or I believe we're on the social medias as Ghostly Podcast. And we do have a YouTube channel that we don't do videos currently, but are hoping to expand to that. We're on all the places you can listen to podcasts.
Yep. Anywhere you listen,
Awesome.
we're there.
We're even on LinkedIn.
We
Awesome. I did
We're
not know
everywhere.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
all the podcast players, Spotify, Pandora, all that good stuff. And for the month of October, we always like to do. We normally come out every other week, but for October, we always like to pick a theme, and we do weekly episodes. And this year, the theme is haunted cemeteries. So starting this week, we've got Graceland Cemetery in Chicago is our episode, and then we'll have 3 more throughout the month. So we're excited. It's a busy month. It's the
Awesome.
month.
Busy. Yeah.
It's October. It's the season.
Yes. And we actually have a spooktacular this month too. We'll be coming out with some spooky episodes ourselves. So make sure y'all tune in for the month of that. And why don't you tell our listeners where they can find us?
You can find us on skepticsidekick.com, where you can contact us at info@skepticsidekick. And we also do have a Facebook, the Skeptic Sidekick. We're also on Twitch as the Skeptic Sidekick. And we have Twitter and Instagram if you want to drop us a note.
Yes, and
And we do have one simple request. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars on Apple Podcasts would really help us out, you know.
yes, definitely. If you get a chance, rate us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. We can learn from the good as well as the bad, so no holds barred on reviewing. Just keep it nice, keep it clean. That's all we ask. And we do read the reviews on air. So that might be a way for y'all to get a shout out. Also, speaking of Facebook, I do want to mention we do have our group, the Skeptic Sidekick, which is a private group where we hang out and share our thoughts. And so we welcome everybody to join there. Some great people in that group. Our fellow listeners tonight are in that group with us, and we appreciate their support. And anything else before we close out tonight?
No, I just want to thank you so much for having us on your birthday episode. And again, happy birthday. Happy 22nd birthday. We've really appreciated connecting with you guys and talking with you.
Thank you for joining us. It really means a lot that y'all took the time, because I know y'all are really busy. So it means a lot that y'all took the time to be here with us tonight. And
Is this the best birthday present ever?
of course. Yes, thank
Well, it
you,
was definitely
Shelley.
a fun. It was definitely. This is a fun topic. You picked a good one. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Yes. And as usual, good night, everybody, and sweet dreams.
And unpleasant nightmares.
Thank you, Raymond. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Sorry, one sec.
Oh, all have to freeze
Bye.
poses. For joining us on the Skeptic Sidekick.